Okay, I didn't think I'd be making another video on this so soon, but holy crap, I just made one of the coolest things I've heard in like 10 minutes using 4 of the sequencing tricks on the OPXY, and it's kind of crazy. So I wanted to show you how I did it since it's surprisingly simple, but complex at the same time. And it all stemmed from this like 1-bar challenge thing that I'll tell you in a sec. But here's the track. And we're going to be using the Maestro player, some of the step components, sequenced punch-in effects, as well as a sequenced brain, which is going to be smart transposing the sequence around. All the sounds are internal except for my voice, and then you'll hear it in the background, but that's besides the point. But listen to this chord change. This is the part that was like super sick to me. So if we look at our brain, it's moving here. It's going to start moving into a scale of 16. So this here, it's just changed everything up to a C. And then it changes it back down to a G. And then you can hear those little punch-in effects there, right? Back to G. So this track stemmed from a challenge I gave myself, which was to make a song where everything was a 1-bar pattern. And it began here on this bass line. Check this out. So already you can see it's jumping around, right? I just took this 1-bar pattern and I wanted to make it a bit more interesting using the step components. So on this first, or this, I guess, third step here, I have the velocity fixed, but I have it jumping to step 9, which is right here. And you can see that that only happens 1 out of every 2 rotations. So it's kind of this new, I don't even know the math on that, because you're jumping from step 3 to step 9, so you're subtracting these 4 steps, but only every 2. And I started doing some other weirder stuff, but I actually really enjoyed the simplicity of this. And what's cool, I parameter locked, of course, a couple of the filter changes, but you also have key tracking. So on those like high notes, if you wanted, you can kind of do something interesting there. But then came the drums, which are these here. Just this like sloppy kick, sloppy hat, and then a fast hat, and then my voice, yo, randomly. And then I added this like big chord thing here, which is going super slow because I took our scale and scaled it down to 8. So, and the chord is just this, it's a G minor. So I thought that was cool. And then I was like, all right, let's try messing around with these players. I've now figured out what the hell Maestro does. So on track 6, I took one of my favorite presets, the guitar. And the way it's playing is Maestro. I finally figured out what Maestro does because we have the manual. What it's doing is it's gonna play a chord that you put in. So in this case, I can just say that note, here, and then it's going to lock that in. And I choose at what speed it plays. Up, down, or there's random. But I really like the up and down because it kind of, again, took this 1-bar pattern and emphasized it almost into 2 bars, which of course resulted in this. So then I was like, all right, this is cool. This is just this repeating, droning noise. What's the like B section, right? And this is where I always struggle a lot because I don't know chord progressions that much. I know you can do the 2-5-1 or whatever the heck it is, right? When it comes to playing chords. So I was like, let me try and use the smart transposer. So in scene 5, if we go and look at our arrangement of just the auxiliary tracks, which are these here, that's when this shows up. So originally it's nothing, but then on scene 5, this comes in and it's this holding down a C. So it's going to transpose everything from G to C, because by default, this will know, it just like auto detects the scale based on what notes you're putting in. So I was in G minor, but then if I hold this down, it's going to change it to C Dorian intelligently. AI, I actually don't know, but that's kind of what they're saying, right? I guess. No, I guess they're not really saying that, but it's like intelligent, smart It's called the brain. It's got to be smart, right? That's what brains do, hopefully. But anyway, this comes in, and I have this set to a track scale of 16. Again, trying to stick to that 1 bar thing of it going here. And the only time I broke the 1 bar rule was for sequencing the punch-in effects, which this is a regular scale of 1 to 1 when it comes to our track timing. But you can see there at the very end, I have on track 4, here it comes, a little beat repeat of this. And then this happens 1 out of every 2 because you could put the components on even these. And it's, if I hold this down, it's gonna be this one here, so. That's dope. One thing I do wish is I wished that on these, when it's playing this beat repeat, I wish I knew what samples it was hitting because they are a little loud. And it kind of throws the mix off a bit. Maybe I can find what exactly this one's doing. I think it might be shuffling what sounds our drums are playing, which in this case are here, right? And then maybe I can find like, oh, it's hitting this. Let me just turn down the volume of this sample. I'm not exactly sure where it's pulling all the samples from. So then lastly, to tie it all together, I just went into song mode and built like a simple song, play from, you know, scene 1 to scene 2 to scene 3 to scene 4 to scene 5. One weird thing that I noticed with this is, this might be hard to explain, but if I go to our brain here, in scene 1, 2, 3, and 4, its timing is set to a 16, like this, right? If I were to just go and jump to scene 5, where it jumps down to that pattern where it's scaled to a 16, it's now like here. It's not at the beginning. So then it's gonna throw my chord transition kind of off. And what's happening is when the brain is on scene 1 through 4, not 5, scene 1 through 4, it's playing this pattern, pattern 1. And pattern 1 is moving really fast. It's just 1 to 1, 16. But as soon as I jump to a new scene that has pattern 2, for example, scene 5, wherever it was on pattern 1, it's gonna jump to that same step on pattern 2, but then be moving at the new track scale of really slow. So the way I had to get around this was learning the song mode. So I can play from scene 4, and it will then change perfectly in time. So watch, we're here, it's doing its thing. We're gonna go watch the brain, which is what we're doing now. And then here it's gonna jump right now, just slow. Boom, boom. So I wish that there was a way to change scenes like at the end of a scene, or make sure that when it changes, it resets all of its timing. There is this weird step component, which I think it's in the jumping align track position. I don't know what this does. I haven't read it in the manual yet. And the only reason I was able to understand it and explain all this stuff is because the manual was finally released. But I think this might be the answer to getting everything lined back up. I don't know, and I don't know what placing it here is gonna do. But anyway, appreciate you, my friend. Until next time, you already know the drill. Share the love, share the knowledge. Knowledge is power. Peace.